Hey everyone, how you doing? Yeah, just as the title says, a few Amiga editions. Nothing much going on at the moment, to be honest. Not really got the time to do many gameplay videos. Although I've got an idea, I was thinking of covering all the Alien Breed games on the CD32. Now, it's 4 in total, so it could be quite interesting. I've actually really got into the Alien Breed games again recently, so that's something I'm going to try and look into. I know they're probably all on YouTube anyway. Well, they're all on YouTube, but something I fancy doing. Anyhow, yeah, so a few Amiga editions, nothing really special, one pretty rare Amiga shooter to add to the collection. A few of these are a bit obscure actually, probably not known. Anyhow, a few days ago I was in this little town in the countryside, and there's a charity shop, and I thought, okay, have a look in like you do sometimes. And lo and behold, there were 3 Amiga games in this charity shop. Now, I've never seen a charity shop, I don't think, with Amiga games in it, so to see them, quite surprised, and I thought, oh, check the inside, there's the disc, instructions and stuff like that. And these games are 75p each, and I thought, you can't really argue with that, can you? Didn't actually want, one of the games I didn't mind, the other 2 I wasn't too bothered about, but I had to buy all 3, just for the fact that they're 75p each, and they were in a charity shop. Because, like I said, it doesn't ever happen, does it? Most of the time you're going to find Amiga games, it's got to be eBay. That's pretty much the only place. So anyway, first of them games then, pretty well known back in the 8-bit days, budget releases, and this is similar. This is Joe Blade, which is a platform kind of run and gun, bit of a shooter and a bit of a beat 'em up at the same time. Some, I don't know, Amiga or Atari screenshots on the back there, if you can see them or not. Yeah, I was never a fan of Joe Blade. I think I had one of the games on the Amstrad. It's pretty well received on the Spectrum and stuff like that, and Commodore. Like 84, 92%, stuff like that. So the game mags quite liked it for a fair bit, but it wasn't for me. There were 3 of them in total for the 8-bit. I think only 2 got released on the Amiga. I could be wrong. So yeah, you know, it's screen by screen. You go along, shoot the enemy. I think you got hostages to release, and got to explode something. That's it really. Joe Blade. 75p. As was this. This one I did like. This one I would have bought anyway. Shuffle Putt Cafe. Yeah. Very simple, straightforward game. It's basically air hockey, as you can probably see from that screenshot. Yeah. And on the front there is all the characters you play. There's an Elvira looking lady there. I'm going to assume her name is in here. It's got the name of the characters you play. Princess Beijing, I assume she is. You've got Biff Raunch, you've got the General, Vinny the Dweeb, Skip Feeney, and each one obviously gets progressively harder. Yeah, it's actually good fun, although I suppose really it's quite limited. That got released on the 8-bits as well, so I was actually after the Amstrad version, but I don't think I've ever seen it. Anyway, moving on, and the third game from this charity shop then is quite an oddity, I'd say. I don't think I've ever seen it on eBay, and I hadn't heard of it actually until I saw it and thought, oh, it's for the Amiga, pick it up. So there it is, and this is from a company called Lancor, released by Infogrames, but I think Lancor were the team behind the game. But Lancor actually did a game, one of the best known games they did for the Amiga was this, Room, which is a super fast Formula 1 racer. But this then is quite an oddity. It's called Genius. I really can't explain this game because I've only made sure it's loaded. I haven't actually really given it a go yet. It's quite an oddity apparently. It's like each screen you go through, there's puzzles, not so much platforming. Avoid the robots as they become uncontrollable. 100% arcade action, that's what it says. So again, 1989. Instructions are in there. There's 2 screenshots on there, plus like a loading screen. You can see that. Yeah, I think you're this character, but I honestly couldn't tell you much about it. But apparently the music's quite unusual. That's all I know. But quite a rarity. I'm trying to find out if it was actually quite rare and it's actually worth selling or anything like that. But at the moment I don't know. Anyhow, so 3 games, 75p each. Even if they didn't work, you're not really out of pocket, are you? So not bad. Alright, this one was only a couple of quid actually. Actually, as was the next one. This is a vertical scrolling shooter from the 80s. A company called Kingsoft must have done about a dozen vertical scrolling shooters. This one I quite like. It's not too bad for its day and age. 50 different screens it says, not levels, so first class graphics, clean animated sprites. Typhoon. There are actually a couple of games called Typhoon. There was an arcade game called Typhoon which had into the screen as well as vertical scrolling sections. This has nothing to do with that at all. So very tiny screenshots on the back there. Yeah, so it's from the ancient days. I don't think it's power-ups or anything like that. Oh hello. It's just software business. Yeah. Left hand side of the screen shows a zone, ships, points missing. There's a Hall of Fame, and that's pretty much it really. Ancient shooter, but yeah, for a couple of quid worth adding to the collection. Okay, I picked up a compilation for 99p plus postage. So again, you can't really moan too much, can you? Classic collection from Ocean Software. Precious Metal. As you can see on the box there, it got Crazy Cars. There's 3 of them in the series, but only the 3rd one's really any good. Arkanoid, Revenge of Doe, which is a pretty decent conversion. Xenon, which we all know is Xenon, and Captain Blood. I loved Captain Blood on the Amstrad. Amazing graphics for the Amstrad, stuff like that. Couldn't play the game to save my life. Now I thought, well, it didn't say actually in the listing whether the game works or the games work. I only normally buy off eBay if like it says tested and working, otherwise I won't touch it. But it come to like 20 seconds left in the auction. I thought 99p, go on in, put a bid in. As it goes, the only game that I can't get to load so far is Xenon. But that's not too bad because I've got Xenon there. So yeah, so Crazy Cars then. The first of them, it's a pretty bouncy racer. One manual, 4 discs. Arkanoid Revenge of Doe, you all know that is just breakout with knobs on. Xenon, vertical scrolling shooter. I didn't really like the Amiga version that much. Captain Blood. It's quite an odd space exploration game basically. Quite well received back in the day. Yep, so 3 out of 4 work, 99p plus I think it was £1.50 postage, so alright eh? Okay, only 3 games left, so not a big amount of games or anything. Now this is an arcade conversion and a clamshell case, that's quite nice. Quite like these clamshell cases. And it's Sidearms. Pretty hard to find on your Amiga, don't see it very often. The ultimate experience for trigger happy arcade astronauts. Commodore 64 screens on the back there, so that's a shame. That's the side. This doesn't come with instructions if I remember rightly. No, it doesn't. So that's a bit of a shame, but Sidearms is a simple side scrolling shooter. Actually, it's not always side scrolling, sometimes it goes downwards as well. Various power ups. It's not too bad actually. It's not brilliant. It's not too bad on the Amiga. Yeah. This is about £10 or £11, but again, I hadn't seen it, so I thought, well, I might buy it. I've seen it before. Okay, the next game you may well not have heard of. From a company called Sphinx Software, and it might be their only release on the Amiga actually. I quite like it. It's not amazing. Quite like it. It's got a different sort of thing to some vertical scrolling shooters. I'll tell you the game first then. It's called Intact. Different sort of artwork on the cover, but quite nice. And I think this is for 1 or 2 players. There's a couple of screens on the back. Yeah, so intelligent information, music and sound effects. Action at its best, 1 or 2 player options, so there you go. Yeah, so what's different about this then is you've got the waves, you shoot your waves. I think there's something you pick up if you shoot your waves, and but you don't get power up straight away. What it is, you get to a certain point on the stage and there's a whole list of power-ups. No enemy for a while, you just got power-ups. Really boring manual. And you actually fly over the power-ups, which ones you want. Depends on how much you collect. The more you collect, I bet you can power up your ship. So there we go. Yeah, it's got bosses in this as well, if I remember rightly. There is a long play actually on YouTube. I'll check it out or not. Whether I ever get around to putting a gameplay of this up, I don't know. I hope so at some stage. But this was about £14, so it's not too bad. I actually quite like it to a fair point. And the last one then is super rare, fairly expensive, and a bit naff to be honest for the Amiga, but I don't know why, I just bought it. Now I've followed this series for a while actually. I have one of the both PlayStation versions and the PSP version of this game. This is the original, which came out on the Amiga, came out on Spectrum, PC Engine of course. Yeah, actually got a Spectrum release, but not like Amstrad or Commodore, I don't think, Commodore 64. It is Darius. Darius series of shooters has been going almost as long as like R-Type and Gradius or Nemesis, depending where you come from. There's a back, cut the screens in the back. Now Darius looks really good when you first see it on the Amiga. I do actually like that artwork. I'll show you that again, shall I? There we go. The only problem with Darius is it's the ship and the enemy are so big, it takes up a lot of the screen, so it's very clustered, if you like. Not a lot of room, claustrophobic. Darius is a series of shooters where all fishy themed, if you like. The enemies are like octopus, seahorses, things like that. So, got one disc. I actually have the Darius disc somewhere else, but it doesn't work. This comes with a giant poster, which is really nice, but I haven't got posters up anymore. I lost my games room to my baby, unfortunately. And there we go. Really nice poster actually. Shows off that artwork in full. So this is a pretty rare game. Oddly enough, the Spectrum version is a bit more common than the Amiga version. So it's colourful. Music's okay in places. The gameplay is just not there really. It's a shame. But I did want this. There was another game I wanted, but I lost out on that one unfortunately, which is even more rare than this. And that would have really made my day if I got that one. I didn't get it. Ho hum. So there we go. A bunch of games. Only one of them actually really cost any money, which is of course Darius. It's a shame. Got some half decent power ups and stuff like that in it, but it's just, like I say, you got no room to move and it ruins the game unfortunately. Spectrum version looks just as similar, obviously a lot less colour. Yeah, didn't get released on like the Amstrad and stuff like that for some reason. Don't know why. There we go. Yeah, so I might actually, my next video, whenever I get around to it, might be about Alien Breed on the CD32. All 4 games. All in one video or something, perhaps. And hopefully by then, I think I've got another 8 or 9 CD32 games for the collection, which means I'll have about 15 left to get. So, I'm really getting somewhere now with that. So there we go guys, thanks for watching, I'll see you again soon.